We are live. Hopefully. Like I said, let me just pull it up on my phone and we are good. I just need to make sure it works and everything's working. Ooh, I just got an advertisement for Ludwig, the Texas Tech player, our golfer.
Oh, the golfer?
Yep.
Uber.
Ludwig Ober.
Alright, bet. Here we go. It's live. Alright. Well, welcome back. Mad Sports Talk. You got, we'll keep it nice and short on an intro today. We got me, AJ Douglas, top left corner. You got JT DeLoach over on the top right corner. Mason Pierce, bottom left corner. And then we got Sam Ulrich, bottom right corner. So all four of us are back for this week. Talk about Texas Tech versus K-State, everything Week 10 related for college football, and maybe a little bit about other stuff. I know we all are paying attention to that World Series and what rumors are going on around here at Tech. So we'll look at that a little bit. But overall, let's get started with talking about Texas Tech going to K-State for the first, or looking to get their first win at K-State since 2008. Let's see. Mason, want to get started on that one? I know you've done a lot of work on that. I know this has been your big one.
I mean, I think all of us. I mean, I'm not gonna go off too much because I want all of us to at least be able to say something. Because I think we all could equally talk about this for hours at this point. This is one of those games that I feel like currently our fan base is kind of overlooking because of, and JT, we talked about it right before we got on. Game day, right? The potential for next week's game, BYU coming to Lubbock, I think for the first time ever, too. And potentially being,
Oh, wait.
Yeah, wait.
Oh, wait.
I was like, I knew that one.
The UT.
No,
UT
I meant BYU, not game day. I meant BYU, coming to Lubbock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and potentially, if Tech ends up winning this weekend, that could be, and, BYU with the bye, that would be, and obviously it would end up being probably a top 10 matchup. And a lot of hype around that, and rightfully so. JT, like you said, we haven't had it since '08 in that legendary, Michael Crabtree catch UT game that, really put Tech, and Mike Leach and all that on the map, especially, right? So, but this is probably the definition of a trap game. Arizona State, looking at currently how their season trajectory is going, Sam Levitt, I doubt, is probably going to be back at least for another few weeks, so they pretty much ruined him for that one game. Jordan Tyson's still coming off an injury. So, obviously, that game was brutal. We didn't have a starter or whatnot. But now we're overall pretty healthy. Terrence Carter and Barron are both probable for this game, which is huge.
Parker Heights
Barron's
legend.
already been announced as starter.
Harker Heights
but there's
legend.
a lot of
Terrence
what?
Carter. I said Harker Heights legend, Terrence Carter. Gotta rep the hometown.
Hey, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But this is a very interesting matchup because watching Kansas State, if you just take away probably their first quarter of the season, this should be an easy win for Tech, right? I mean, they lost in Ireland to Iowa State, lost at home to Army, barely beat North Dakota at home, and then went on the road and lost at Arizona. So I mean, their season was pretty much in the dumps. The Ireland curse was already in full effect, but they've slowly rebounded. They've won 2 of their last 3. Their one loss being at Baylor in kind of a shootout game, which they did choke. But their offense has shown improvements. Their defense looked pretty good last week against Kansas. Now, obviously, Kansas sucks and everything about them sucks, but that's for another time. We've already ranted about that.
Yeah,
But,
especially when
there's a
they
lot of
decided to get
familiar
rid of our old tradition.
Yeah, but there's a lot of familiar ties in this game. One of Kansas's State's starting receivers, Drake Bradley, 3-year receiver here for us before a stop at BC and then now in Manhattan. And then obviously I think kind of the most notable one would have to be Kansas State offensive coordinator Matt Wells, former Tech head coach. The guy that got replaced by Joey. So I think this game's got a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings into it. It's also a major trap game because Tech has not beaten K-State in general since 2015 and has not won in Manhattan since '08, which was that magical season that Tech had. So definitely a game that I think Tech as a whole, and I think the team is not overlooking, but something as a fan base we kind of are just automatically assuming is a W. But it's one of those Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend type games. But JT, what are kind of your thoughts with this?
I'm looking at last 5 games for both opponents. Us and Kansas State both beat Kansas 42-17. Last 5 games, both teams offensively only had one game where they struggled. And their game was against Arizona. They only scored 23. Our lowest scoring game in our last 5 is 26. If you look at what our defense is making people average, which I think is 12.5 a game, 26 should be enough. I think it's going to be a different story. The spread's only 6.5 in favor of us. Honestly, a 3:30 kick isn't really bad or anything. It's not going to help us nor hurt us, and we're not switching time zones, so that also helps. Yeah, Mason, you pretty much hit it. I mean, I've watched it my whole life, man. So we'll just see.
Answer.
Sam?
Yeah, I was about to say, Sam, I want to hear your thoughts on
Yeah.
this.
For some reason, I thought Kansas was way on the East Coast. My brain wasn't really clicking. So when you said 3:30, because it's really 3:30 when you're going, because it's a 2:30 game, right?
Yeah, for Central
You
Time.
said 3:30,
Time.
and I thought, I was just thrown off by that. It's obviously a trap game, and I've said this for the last 2 months. Going up, this is the game I thought Tech would lose if they were undefeated up to this point. However, I think that Arizona State lost. You feel like it's just so hard to go perfect on the road, and the Arizona State game kind of fills that. But we're the team now where it feels like we're everybody's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're like Arizona State's Super Bowl, and I feel like Kansas State, we're going to kind of feel that same thing. But even though Kansas State has lost to these bad teams, every single one of the losses has been a one-score game. That's something that kind of concerns me. Is you can't really the week 0 game is so hard to judge. It's the first game of the season. You're playing a real opponent. This isn't a tune-up game where you play. No offense, AJ, but you play Kent State. So
No, you're good. It's fair.
something
Even my own
that's-
family talks bad about them. We're good.
it feels like
Also, they played against Iowa State and a monsoon, basically.
yeah.
And it was across the pond, mind you. This was not
Right,
yeah.
in the
It was
state.
a very interesting game. It was so
Yeah,
sloppy.
yeah.
It was such a sloppy game. There was a lot of fumbles. The thing is, once you lose that game, again, it's a big time change. You got to come back, and I don't even think they had a bye after that game. They went straight
No.
into the. Was that the Army game or was that the North Dakota game?
North Dakota. They had North Dakota,
They
and then
almost
they
lose
played
that
Oregon the
game.
following week.
You just when you look so sloppy, you just don't have that type of confidence. So, those first 3 weeks were really rough for K-State. They looked like they could have been 0-3. And the Army game, when they lose to Army, which is an Army, anytime you play one of the military schools, it's going to be, you're not going to get the ball many times. And when you go 3 and out, and the other team has a 8-minute drive, it doesn't feel the greatest. But they just seem to be picking it up at the right time. The dominant win against Kansas last week. It seems like they're kind of peaking at the right time, and that's not really good for Texas Tech. However, I do think that this Tech team is special, and you're getting back. I think getting back, Terrence, it adds to that depth at the tight end because having John Carlos Miller, because there'll be some sets where they'll run both of the tight ends out there. I feel like for Morton, especially, that's going to help getting Morton back, and there'll be a little more protection for Morton on the longer developing plays. I do think getting Morton back. I feel like Mac will call a game where he's kind of used to not having to call, not him feeling like he has to call quarterback draw 3 or 4 times a game because you have, Lamar Jackson-esque speed and Will Hammond, as the Barstool likes to think. So I think it's going to be interesting. It's a tough place to play. It's going to be. I don't know. I do think we win. Anytime you play on the road in the Big 12, a game you think you're going to win, you get kind of scared.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with you. AJ?
Yeah, I agree with y'all. As the reports are saying, Barron's back and eligible to play this week, which I think is going to be huge. Even though we got the wins with Will, except the Arizona State one, but I always said, and I stood by it was our offense looked very, very flat with those options with Will at QB. And I don't blame it on Will. I'm blaming it on some of the coaching, some of the play calls there with him. I think it's going to be a lot better game for us, hopefully on the offense. Hopefully Barron comes back out here and starts ripping the ball like he was when we were all basically saying, Heisman watch, that's my Heisman right there, like that type of conversation with Barron. We're hoping to get that Barron back because we're going to need him this week and next week versus BYU. These are going to be your two big games that are going to dictate if you go to Arlington, if you go to if you host a game in the college playoffs, or if you're just a bowl eligible team, because all you're getting is you're guaranteed a bowl already. You've got your 6 wins for your bowl, but we're not. I think it's a wasted season if we're just bowl eligible. We're looking to go to playoffs.
Yeah.
We're looking to go to Big 12.
To add on to that Barron point, I'm looking at it right now. Barron only has 250 yards less than Avery Johnson this season in 3 less games.
Yeah.
Total or passing?
Passing.
Okay, well, Avery Johnson's.
Which I mean,
He's a
yes,
runner,
he's
yeah.
a runner. Well, yeah,
But still, that is still ridiculous.
Yeah, considering he
I
hasn't
think
played since
Avery-
second quarter of
Avery's at
Kansas.
17. Avery's at 1792. Barron is at 1501. Which is
He's a
still insane.
gunslinger, man.
There-
Yeah.
That's a 1-game difference.
And before we move off of
Okay,
that,
3 to 3.5 game span. It might be more than 3 games. It might be like 4
Yeah.
or 5 because he hasn't
Could
played
be.
a full game yet.
He didn't play second half.
I think
Utah.
Avery Johnson's played.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't had a blowout where he could come
No,
out. It's
Aaron Morton has still not played a full game in 8 games.
I just my biggest thing is I don't want to like.
Yeah, 'cause it's out of
Obviously, the
Utah.
yardage thing is funny as can be, but also like we've got to remember, and I specifically remember this because this was my freshman year, one of my first home
Yeah.
games at Jones AT&T. You know, a guy by the name of Will Howard ended up getting benched for this young guy named Avery Johnson, and he may or may not have ran, unfortunately, for 5 touchdowns. Now it's a whole different
Yeah.
team, right? Whole different brand. You know, it's not the same as it is now. But you know, time kind of has a scary thing where it will repeat itself, and I'm just really worried. I know our edges are really good this year. I mean, they're phenomenal. Obviously, David Bailey's going to be a top 15, top 10 guy, depending on certain off the field things. But I mean, overall, though, you know, I don't know. This is an interesting game, but yeah, for us having Barron back, I think is huge. I mean, I think a lot of guys are going to be more confident, especially offensive guys. I don't know how y'all felt last week with OSU, but the receivers didn't really seem all that like outside of Coy and that one great catch he had where he pretty much got rocked. You know, I felt like
That was
it
a hell of a
very
catch, though.
lackluster No, 100%. But it just felt really lackluster, and it kind of felt like there wasn't really a lot of energy, a lot of, tempo. That's one thing we missed with Barron, is having a guy that's able to be, a tempo quarterback. And if you're going to run typically a Mac Leftwich offense or an air raid offense, which we're in, a spread offense, you kind of need to have a little tempo, and that's how you keep defenses like K-State's on the edge, because they also have a linebacker of their own in Romaine, who to start the season was a preseason first team All Big 12, was I'm pretty sure preseason All American, not first team, but honorable mention or like a third. You know what I mean? So this K-State team also has pieces as well, but yeah, this is definitely gonna be a matchup that I think comes down to durability and who's gonna be able to actually make the improvements when it's necessary in the second half. So
Hey, bro, what do you like?
I'm reading the chat. People are just giving us shit.
Sweet.
All right.
We did get a comment that said Matt Sports Talk is the highlight of my day. Who needs to socialize or take care of themselves when the best sports podcast is on?
thank God.
Yep.
What are our game predictions for K-State, and then we'll move on into games this week.
AJ, we'll let you rip it
All right.
off first this week.
Let's see. I'm gonna try to take it quarter by quarter. I think defensively we'll hold them. I'm gonna say quarter by quarter.
No,
But
it's just game. Just
I
game
know, but
predictions,
just
final score.
trust me here. What I'm saying is,
No, that's not how it works.
all right,
It's a system.
give me a second. This is what I'm saying though. This is what I'm thinking is we'll probably start off very slow. So I'm thinking we'll probably get like 7-3 like end of the first quarter, and then by the end of the game, offense finally starts rolling. We're looking at maybe like a 28-31, or like, yeah, I'll stick with that. 28-31, close game. But I think both offenses are going to get started in the second half. I think it's going to be slow with Barron in the first quarter, second quarter. And once he gets rolling and everybody starts moving again, second half, it's going to be a light show for the second half.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 33-17 Tech. I think like AJ said, I think it's gonna be kind of like the Utah game. It's gonna start out slow. We'll have a few questions at halftime, then we come out in the third quarter. I think this is the year we finally do it. I think we break the curse. I think we break through. So I'm gonna say 33-17. It might be 30, might be less. I don't know, but I'd say that's fair with Barron coming back. We're not gonna like put the lights out like on anybody. Like we're not gonna score 45. We're not gonna get our average, but I think we get in the 30s, and I think our defense is stout enough this year to hold them in the mid to low teens.
For sure. Sam, what you thought too?
It was going along with the AJ thing. The team, they're gonna both line up for the kickoff, and then one of the teams is gonna kick it off, and then one of them's gonna return it, and then somebody will eventually score in the game. I think Tech wins. Put my prediction 31-17.
Y'all see it too, right?
Yeah, 31-17.
Sorry,
We're gonna win
Sam.
a coin toss, and we're gonna defer.
I think that's a solid
The
score.
rest gonna flip the coin, and it's gonna be heads or tails.
That's right. And what if it lands on its side though?
Hey, we get a tie like with the Packers and Cowboys game.
Yeah, no, I think, I don't know, like, I could see it being a game where defense really, K-State kind of gets a busted touchdown. That's kind of what we saw in the Kansas game. We saw basically 2 busted coverage. Like, I feel like it's the only way offenses can move down the field. I want to give just praise to our run defense all season. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think we've given up a 100-yard rusher at all this
We
season.
giving up a rushing touchdown.
Raleek Brown, I think, was either close to or had like barely over in the ASU game, if I remember correctly. But that's
Oh,
it.
Utah,
That's
maybe.
the only.
Oh.
I don't think Utah had more than like 100
Did they score a
total.
touchdown? I meant touchdown. I was thinking the touchdown thing. No,
Yeah.
defense is great, and I would like to say I saw a TikTok. Some guy that doesn't think said that David Bailey would be lucky if he was a day 3 pick.
Yeah, Arizona State had a rushing touchdown.
Dude,
It was-
what?
He goes, David Bailey's the most overrated player in college football.
Damn.
Dude, what?
Huh?
I did the comments. It's bad when a video has more comments than likes.
What was
Yeah,
his
that's-
argument?
It was, the guy was like,
Who's
you
on
don't
that,
want.
please?
Yeah,
I'll send it right now because I favorited it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back and look at this whenever it was like, wow. He goes, yeah, you just don't want. He's calling him a spin merchant.
Mason, real quick, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I think, I'm agree with AJ on the fact that I think first quarter, second quarter, maybe towards the end it heats up. But I think for the most part, first half is going to be kind of slow in terms of offensive production, just because our offense, it seems so far this year, is kind of taking that first half to really get adjusted and kind of figure out what defensive schemes they're going to run. Once again, K-State's secondary is still pretty banged up. One of their best safeties is probable for this game, but he's definitely not going to be 100. So I think at some point we're going to finally, start throwing the ball deeper than 10 yards, down the field now that we have Barron back. But I also think that K-State's, having a mobile quarterback like Avery Johnson and also having a few receivers, Tibbs and Jace Brown, which are guys that I think are pretty decent, and obviously Duran Bradley. So him being, I think 6'5", if I remember correctly. I think he's like 6'5". So, I think at some point he's probably going to get like a jump ball TD because our corners are not, the most lengthy and whatnot. So I'm gonna say 34-24 Tech. I think K-State at some point and probably in the third or second, it's going to make it like make it pretty close, but then obviously we're gonna break away at some point. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tech 34-24.
So what you're telling me is
Alright.
every single one of y'all just gave me heck, and then now here y'all are all agreeing that, oh, when I said I was going to take it quarter by quarter, I wanted to describe we were going to have a slow start, and yet now all of y'all said the exact same
Well, we
thing.
had to now. You started it.
I'm just
So, I
saying,
mean,
every one of y'all got mad at me when I started it, and I was like, hold on, let me describe it.
On the video that Sam just sent, one of his replies to a comment said that sacks don't matter.
Yeah.
That's a take.
That's all you got to know.
I mean, look at Myles Garrett, and last week
It was.
that didn't help him win
Yeah.
that game.
I mean, I don't know. But I'm not gonna be foolish and not acknowledge like K-State still is a very flawed and injured team. Like it's not the early 2010, mid 2010 K-State teams of old. Bill Snyder.
So they just threw you up in the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a team that they are very top loaded with talent, but after that, it's a huge drop. And I don't think they have the depth that we do outside of probably running back, even though obviously Dylan Edwards is out this week again, which is huge for us. I think that eliminates really their run game, especially. So, yeah, that's why I'm looking at it. Like, I mean, if you didn't start that, I would have just said 34-24 off the rip, but we had to, give a little explanation,
I was just, like I said, I just wanted to describe that along the lines of like, I feel like it's gonna be a slow start. That was all I wanted to really touch up on. And then we also, a guy named Jackson said, JT, please describe why Georgia Tech should be ranked in top 5.
All right.
We gotta adhere to our viewers, man.
Yep.
So, real fast before we get into the game, Georgia Tech has been in a lot of close games this season, and they've pulled it out every single time. You find later in the season, you look at these battle-tested teams, and I know you can say the ACC is a weak conference, right? But they've been battle-tested. They've been tested till the end of games, and they've pulled it out. They can win in the crunch time. Haynes King, in my opinion, hopefully in y'all's opinion too, he's a Heisman-level candidate. Like, he really is. He's a great leader.
He is good.
He can run an offense. He's trusted by coaches. That's what you need to make a deep run in the playoffs. You need a quarterback that is trusted. You need a quarterback that can run the offense, right? We've seen that this past few weeks with Will Hammond. Doesn't have much experience. We've looked shaky. Georgia Tech is very consistent. So, hold on 1 second.
Hey, while JT's muted, I just want to to his point. I'm looking at stats real quick, and I didn't realize this. Haynes King is their leading rusher right now with 651 yards, and then their second closest, which is not even their starting running back, it's their second string running back, only has 488. Now there's a 50 carry difference between both.
Yeah.
But he's still averaging about 5.8 a carry, which for a quarterback, considering sacks and everything, is impressive. And then you also look at touchdowns. He's got 12 of them on the year rushing. And then and then obviously passing stats aren't going to blow you away, but he has a 72% completion percentage. And I mean, I love Haynes King. Like, I think he's great. And I'll let you get back to your point, JT.
Yeah. No, if you just look at their stats, like seriously, scoring statistics, total points a game, 35. 33 touchdowns. 35 points a game average. Like, that should win you games, right? That's an elite level offense if you're scoring in the 30s. And it's a mainly run quarterback in Haynes King. Also, along with that, their defense is very stout. They're very experienced. A lot of guys from last year's team didn't transfer out. Obviously, we got Romello, which was a big loss for them. But they had a lot of guys stay. And honestly, their secondary hasn't really been burnt much. And their line is producing good run defense. I'm trying to find their stats. Which it's hard to find for some reason.
What are you
But
trying to look up?
I think Brent Key has done an amazing job with this Georgia Tech team. I know last year doesn't matter, but if you look at that game at Sanford Stadium, the 7 or 8 overtime game, like, that Georgia Tech team was not even close to the caliber of the team that they have now, in my opinion, watching them. They were still growing last year. They didn't know how to close out close games. You lost small. They're winning small now, but they're closing it out. And I feel like that's a big difference. And seeing that improvement from last year to this year, in my opinion, makes it show me that they've grown and they know how to win as a team and they can close it out in the crunch time. And for me, that's an important factor going into the college football playoffs and the postseason is when times get tough, can you pull it out and can you find ways to win? And that's what they do. And so ultimately for me, that's why I believe that deep down they're a top 5 team, along with the quarterback play and Haynes King. So I know that's a long explanation, but I could talk about Georgia Tech for hours. I think they're a top 5 team. They find ways to win constantly, and they're going to continue to do that. And when they win the ACC championship, I'll be right back here saying that.
That's fair. All right. Well, I think we can move on to talking into this week. Week, what, 10? Man, are we already at 10?
we're week 10 now.
Jeez.
Yeah,
We're getting
week
far.
10.
Let's see. Hold on, I'm pulling up the schedule right now. Let's see, it's starting off earlier this week on
game I want to
Tuesday.
talk about.
Let's see. I'm just going to keep it quick. We saw the JMU versus Texas State. I know, JT, you were big on JMU, so big win for them on Tuesday
Yeah, I like
night.
JMU as a group of 5 spot. Potential group of 5 entry right there. Not talked about enough.
Let's see. Tonight, no, it's only Wednesday. Thursday, we got, I think the big game here is probably going to be Coastal Carolina against Marshall at home. Friday, we got Memphis taking on Rice. There's a ranked opponent. North Carolina at Syracuse. And then Sam Houston at Louisiana Tech. But Saturday night,
Finished up on Halloween.
big noon, going to see Penn State at Columbus versus OSU. I think we all going
Hitting
OSU.
lines by 90.
Okay, I knew that was going to happen. That's why I lead into that one. I know you guys never give me that one. All right,
We can't. We just can't.
it's fine. Right underneath it, I think this one we'll actually talk about, and I think y'all know which one it is, knowing how happy I got saying it. We got Vandy
Oh, God.
going to Austin. You got the 9 seed versus 20 seed. Vandy versus Texas. You usually think you don't even think Vandy's ever ranked, but we got Vandy at 9, and somehow, if last I checked, aren't they the underdogs in this game? Doesn't the spread have Texas winning? Yeah.
Because it's
2.5, I
because
believe.
It's in
analytics
Austin,
always-
yeah.
Analytics always
Yeah.
favor Texas, number 1. Number
Yeah.
2, it's in Austin. PKR, in my opinion, is a church service. So, and that's not just because I hate them. It's because I've actually witnessed games there, and it's not.
Environment sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. TC, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think personally, from my own experience being at both stadiums, I think TCU's stadium has more of an atmosphere than DKR,
Which is
which
crazy
is insane to
because their
say.
alumni base is so much smaller than Texas.
That's exactly. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to whoever was talking first.
No, I was just is Arch confirmed for that game?
I doubt it, dude.
Yeah. If there's
Yeah,
no
he got a
Arch, is there a
nasty
chance
concussion.
that Texas takes it?
Even with
they're
Arch,
back.
Vandy's winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though,
Yeah. I mean, but that. Oh yeah.
I was just gonna say, but Better's got looking at the Better poll, it is 70% Texas going for Texas. Vandy's only got a 30% chance, but yet they're ranked higher. I think Vandy's a better team, but yet everybody's going Texas in this game.
It's because it's Texas. The Texas bias stage always has.
Yeah.
Texas is not
Yeah.
good. They're not a good football team. They shouldn't be ranked. Like, barely could close it out against Mississippi State, who fell off, and could barely close it out at a Kentucky team that has been struggling for the past 5 years under Stoops. I think Stoops is gone at the end of this year, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
So all
They-
four
they
of us
had
going
two
with
close
Texas.
calls.
Or I mean
Had to
Virginia.
come all the way back on some miracle to beat Mississippi State. Had to beat Kentucky in overtime. Like, this isn't the same UT that we've always grown to know,
Yeah.
and it hasn't been. I know they made the playoff last year, but the 4 years prior to that, they weren't anything special. It's kind of the same thing. I think Texas fans, now that they have 2 losses, they're still a little optimistic for playoff hopes, but Texas fans are really greedy, and when they get 2 losses, they stop backing the team. It's not going to be a sellout. I know they're playing against number 9. I don't expect a full stadium. I expect people to boycott this. I'm taking Vandy by 10.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with
I'm going to say
the numbers.
27, 27-17 in the SEC slugfest in the first half. It's going to be like 10-3.
Let's see, Sam, you want anything on Vandy, Texas, or who are you going with the win?
The Vandy's been doing good whenever I pick against them,
So please pick against them.
and so I've really been hating on them, and for that sake, I do want them to win because I can't stand Texas, so I'll say Texas wins just for the sake of hopefully that the streak continues that I'm wrong about Vandy. So
I like it.
Yep.
Mason, your last one. Anything?
You know,
Quick.
I think
Yeah.
I like Vandy's defense. I think that's honestly more of their stronghold than really their offense. I don't think they get enough credit. I mean, I think with Pavia being like the entertainer he is, I think it's what kind of drives their offense. But their defense has been insane, and obviously UT being without Arch, and then I think one of the top running backs transferred out due to playing time reasons, and I think Quintravion Wisener just can't stay healthy. I think it's gonna be a very low scoring game, but also, and I hate saying this, UT's defense has been the only thing that's kept them from being like a 4-loss team up until this point. With guys like Anthony Hill and like some of their DBs. I'm personally high on Malik Muhammad because I worked with him when he was at South Oak Cliff in Dallas. So, and he's been a stud so far, probably one of the better corners in the country.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go ahead and just go with everybody because I obviously want UT to lose. I'm gonna say Vandy wins, but I do expect it to be a super close game. I'm talking like probably borderline overtime type of game.
My love for Vandy. Everybody, I finally convinced y'all. I think. I don't know. Well,
I'm just
I
doing it
still
to be
didn't pick
yeah.
them.
yeah, I know. Don't okay.
Yeah.
I'm aware. Guys, let me have my fun here. Let's see. We got Miami at SMU. That actually might be a good game for the ACC. I think
Upset watch.
Yes, it is.
Upset watch.
Yes,
yeah.
I am upset that SMU had lost. They already have 2 losses, right?
Yeah, lost to Wake Forest last week.
Yeah, that's right. I knew they lost
It's a
last
bad
week. Yeah,
game.
they kind of hurt.
And that doesn't work. That doesn't work to Miami's favor at all.
Yeah,
How could they
Miami's
last
on
week?
downhill right now.
Oh no, I think what's his face? I think Malachi Tony though. I think he's gonna have a field day with that secondary. That's the one thing. Now, if Carson Beck is throwing the football, then they've got a chance. I mean, that dude couldn't hit open water if he somehow fell out of a boat. And I mean, he showed it against Louisville by just the type of throws he was making. And I like Rhett Lashley's offense, and I think it definitely will give Miami's defense a little bit of a run for its money. However, they've got Ruben Bain. They've got a lot of NFL cats on that defense for the Hurricanes. I think just obviously being a TCU fan, I don't want SMU to win, but part of it is though too. I think Miami overall more talented, more depth. I say they do win, but this definitely is an upset alert game, like one that could go either way. Like I see in another, like in another alternative that SMU does end up, beating them by like 10. Like I mean, it's very well could happen. It's just the one thing that sucks for SMU is they don't really have much of a home field advantage. And you can say the same with Miami too. Like both their teams
Yeah,
that just
because of the
have
death penalty.
horrible home crowds, but SMU's notoriously has been like compared to as like a high school crowd. But yeah, anyway.
It's an 11 a.m.
I'm
game.
gonna say
Yeah.
real quick. I'm gonna say SMU wins on the last second field goal by my boy Sam Keltner.
Let's see.
That would be dude. Talk about
Other rank
blowing a
this week.
program real quick.
Yep.
So let Sam get his pick.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, dude, I don't. I give me SMU. I like the Texas teams. There's another 11 a.m. game though. However,
It's
neither
tricky.
of the teams
Yeah,
are ranked, but we have big group of 5 implications. Navy, North Texas.
we'll get to let's let because we're
That,
I think
that
we're
game,
what
that's probably the biggest game.
Yeah, the other games between that don't really matter. I mean, the Duke Clemson one would have mattered, but like obviously they've
That's true.
underperforming.
No, I think
Hey,
yeah,
Notre
that's fair.
Dame at Boston College. Is Notre Dame finally dude? No, I mean
Losing next week to
obviously-
Navy, man.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's fair to talk about North Texas Navy. I'm looking at the stuff in the middle. I think the only one we have is Houston, West Virginia, ranked wise, and nobody else kind of a little bit upsetting. So yeah, I think it's fair to talk about Navy and North Texas for a bit.
I'm down.
Huge game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Huge game.
yeah. Let's see. We got
JT, you want to
it's-
kick it off? Or
Well,
you
hey,
go?
let Sam.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah. Sam started.
Yeah, North Texas is a guy with the last name of I think it's Mustamaker, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Drew
And
Must have
he
been.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a baller for sure. He is a baller. Um, I, Navy has always had that triple option offense. They've kind of gone away from it in the past couple of years. Like they used to be just heavy triple option, triple option, triple option, and now it seems like with I think they got I don't know if they got a new OC a couple years ago, but it seems they got more schemes and more schematics that they run and different sets. Um, the Armed Forces Academies were always triple options. I mean, that's what they ran.
Yeah.
Just because they were big and you can run people over. They've kind of shifted away from that. Honestly, I really don't know much about Navy. I haven't watched a game for them all year just because they're never really televised. North Texas, I obviously know more about being in Texas currently. Also with Eric Morris coaching. So this game is stumping me because Navy's rushing attack I know is pretty solid. And I don't think North Texas has really been tested by a true rushing attack. I think who was it? USF passed all over them, right? I don't think they really ran all over them.
USF put up
That game was
60.
crazy.
Yeah, that was.
It was. And
First half was really close. Yeah.
USF's run game isn't as strong as Navy's, in my opinion. Though North Texas is going to get their first real test at a decent run game. I'd like to see how they respond. This one could go either way. I'm going to go low scoring. I know North Texas is the best scoring offense in the country. I think Navy has obviously they have a stout defense being an armed forces academy. So I'm going to go 26-23 North Texas pulls it out. Which it could go either way.
Fair.
For sure.
I'm going North Texas. I think going off what you said, I think I'm just going North Texas though along the lines of I'm looking at their quarterback situation, how good their offense has looked, and I think a better offense will always beat a good defense, no matter what the situation is. So I think if it comes down to number one offense versus number one defense, I'm going North Texas to win this one.
Sam, what you thinking?
Well, this Navy team is very interesting because they don't throw the ball. They never do. Last week, quarterback had 4 rushing touchdowns against Zach Kitley's FAU. You know, Zach Kitley doesn't know defense like he knows his offense. It's going to be interesting. Navy faces the gauntlet of their schedule right now. At North Texas, at Notre Dame, at home against USF, and then at Memphis. If they could somehow get through that part of the schedule with only 1 loss, they could be looking at the group of 5 bid. My opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
It's going to be very interesting. And this is with all the game day speculation, if somehow Navy were to win against North Texas, there's a world where I see game day going Notre Dame Navy game next week.
that's fair.
So that's the only.
I know it's coming. I know it's coming
Navy's
our way.
quarterback is still Blake Horvath.
Yeah.
I thought he was out last year. But there you go. Sorry, that's it.
Yeah, Blake Horvath. He won't throw the ball, but he'll run it 20 times for 100+ yards. So if Navy does win, that could be something like it's a 6:30 game. I think there's something special about like Navy's like 250th. I don't know, something this season. They'll go to the Army Navy game. It'll be interesting because Navy, if they're undefeated, they'll be ranked next week. I don't know how they should be ranked now. They're undefeated. So I think it'll be a really good 11 o'clock game.
See,
I'm gonna take Navy, and I think they score. I'm gonna just say they're gonna score 30+ points.
Yeah, I actually mess with that and kind of like actually give a comparison because I mean all the service academies pretty much run the same offense. North Texas played Army in week 4 up in West Point, and I went to OT and North Texas ended up winning 45-38 in a thriller. But the one thing that Army did extremely well, which all service academies do, is run the football. I mean, Dwayne Coleman, the starting QB, had 117 with a touchdown. Their starting running back had 113 and a touchdown. Their second string running back had 99 and a touchdown. And then they had 2 other guys with about 25 rushing yards. So, North Texas historically has obviously had a lot of offense with a lot of non-defense being played, And to y'all's points, I think Navy's a lot better in terms of running the ball, and they're a more consistent defense. And I think this will show up a lot more. And nothing against Drew. Was it Mustelmaker? How the heck you say his last name? He's finally going up against a really competitive, defense. South Florida has a good defense, and they put up 36. But I think Navy, they're gonna run all over North Texas's defense. So give me Navy in this one.
All right. Let's see. So I'm the only one going North Texas in this one? Well, that'll be interesting. Let's see. We got ASU versus Iowa State at 12 o'clock.
Iowa State.
Huh?
I went North Texas, AJ.
Oh, you went North Texas? Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see. We got ASU, Iowa State, and Iowa State. Let's see. I think Iowa State's coming off of a loss to BYU. That's right. Yep.
Sam Levitt's not playing. There's no hope for that team. They've got Jeff Sims starting at QB. That's all you need to know. If you're really worried about what side or money line to pick in this game, just simply look at the fact that their pretty much whole offense is going to be gone from this. Last time, Jeff Sims started for them on the road was at Utah at night. And I think, when is the Iowa State game? This weekend. It's a 12 on
12,
TNT.
Yeah. 12 o'clock at Athens. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to go Clones. I mean, this is also
Athens.
Iowa State also doesn't really have anything to lose. They're pretty much out of the Big 12 race now with 3 losses in the Big 12. So I think Cyclones end up winning this. I don't really think that's a super, out there pick. Iowa State's favored by 7. I'm surprised it's not, probably 10 considering, that how bad they are. Arizona State is against running games outside of us, apparently. So, give me the Cyclones.
Let's see. We'll just move straight into the next one. Keep in mind we are 40 minutes in, or 42 minutes, so I'm trying to move it a little bit faster.
We're good.
So, let's see. We got Louisville, West Virginia, at West Virginia at 2. Any other?
Virginia
Indiana,
Tech.
Maryland.
Virginia Tech, yeah.
Yeah. Indiana, Maryland at 2:30. Georgia at
Indiana,
Florida.
Maryland,
Huh?
I want to talk about Indiana, Maryland.
What's up? What do you got on that one?
Maryland has a very good quarterback in Malik Washington. I'm anxious.
Thank you.
I'm really
Thank you,
interested.
JT.
I'm really interested to see this QB battle. Yeah, I think it's going to be a shootout. I really do, and I don't think Indiana's safe. If Malik Washington gets on a roll, it could be a long day. I'm being so serious.
I like Indiana though. I can't. Indiana all season they've been proving themselves, and no matter how bad media talks about them.
I agree.
So I can't see them dropping a game to Maryland.
I just if Malik Washington gets on a roll and he starts completing passes, it could be dangerous.
I also think Fernando Mendoza. I can never say his name. I think he's
Mendoza.
Mendoza. I just can't hit it.
Yeah.
This whole season he's been playing phenomenal. He's been the reason Indiana's rolling and the reason they're rolling at 2. And even when he's playing big opponents, he 100% has been there for the team. He of course had that 63-point win with Illinois or against Illinois earlier this year. I don't see Indiana dropping to Maryland this week.
I'm just saying if Malik Washington gets on a roll, there's a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. JT, I appreciate you. My family being Maryland natives, I would love to see this happen. Unfortunately, I know how the Terps defense is, and it's like a lot of college teams right now. It's just, I'm gonna give Indiana their roses, something I should have done from the get-go.
You had them ranked as the overrated team of the year.
I think, and also another little kind of, little tab to, add into this. Indiana starting rusher Roman Hemby is a Maryland transfer. So this is kind of not a get-back game, but it's one of those where he kind of got pushed out and kind of went to Indiana as, everybody kind of saw it as one of those picks. So I think Indiana's offense is going to have a field day, but I also think Malik Washington will have a good game. Like, he's one of those guys that I think is going to get a lot of like transfer looks at the end of the year in terms of like money wise. I mean, the kid's from Maryland, and for some reason, University of Maryland does really well in retaining kids from the state. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, give me Indiana in that game.
Sam?
Yeah, I think Indiana wins. I don't want to add more to that.
I think Indiana wins too. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, Malik Washington's a.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else do we got. This 2:30 slot. We got Georgia, Florida. Georgia.
Well,
Everybody's going
Georgia
Georgia.
all the way.
Notre Dame
Florida
at Boston College. 2:30.
I think Florida wins, man. It's neutral site game. First game after the Billy Napier
Exactly.
firing. They're going to give DJ Lagway the keys to the Ferrari. Don't be surprised when Florida wins on Saturday.
You know what?
So you know, like DJ Lagway, but it's not happening.
We
I love
already
the
talked about
enthusiasm.
Bye week. They're both coming off a bye, I believe.
it's not gonna.
I just-
It's not gonna
Yeah.
affect them, man. As much as I would love to entertain it, there is no way. Let's
I'm
see.
hoping Florida somehow wins, but
We talked about
Yeah.
Texas Tech at K State this week. What else is on here? I think the next big game here is Virginia at Cal,
that's late,
Cal at
man.
2:45, just because that's ranked. Any other?
I would say that's an upset watch. But I mean, Virginia's already proven on the road they're really vulnerable. I mean, especially no offense, JT, but last week really showed it. You know what I mean? And I think Cal is a lot better
Oh, no
than
offense, no offense taken. I knew that was going to happen last week.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, I think that's one of those games that I think Virginia. I think you go either way, but Cal is somewhat improved from last year. I mean, they're 5-3. They haven't done entirely great in the ACC. I mean, they're 2-2 right now. So they're coming off an upset loss, at Virginia Tech last week. So I think they're gonna want. I think they'll be ready for this game. So definitely could be an upset game, but I'll go with Virginia just for the sake of time.
Yeah. I got Virginia. It is. Let's see. Anything else? Old Miss at South Carolina at Old Miss. We got
That's
Purdue
Rebels.
at
Yeah,
Michigan.
it's Rebels.
There we go.
Georgia Tech
We'll
and
talk
State.
about this one. Georgia Tech and North Carolina State at 6:30. I don't think. Oh, and then we have Oklahoma, Tennessee. I think those are the only two left here. Cincinnati and Utah.
See, this is
So we got some good 7 o'clock
the one
games.
game. This is the one game I'm scared for Georgia Tech. I know NC State's program very well, and Carter Finley at night in a blackout is scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. Those fans get rowdy. Do I think Georgia Tech still wins? Yes. Am I scared? Yes. Will I be at that game? Possibly. I'll be cheering my ass off for Georgia Tech in the NC State student section.
See.
Man, I'll
So,
be
yeah.
praying for you, man.
Here, this will
Welcome
be.
JT's
We got
last ever
2.
show here on the.
Yeah. Y'all heard it. Y'all, yeah.
I was gonna say we'll have 2 that we'll talk about, and then we'll probably move on. One, my computer's at 20%. The charger's not really helping it out, and also we're 48 minutes in.
Georgia Tech pulls it out,
So-
if we're doing that game. I think Georgia Tech pulls it out. It's going to be another close one. If they can win at Carter Finley on the road, Carter Finley is a very underrated atmosphere. If they can pull out a win at Carter Finley on the road at night, I think that just proves the strength of that team.
I would agree with that if NC State didn't have like one of the worst defenses in the country this season. I mean that last week at Pitt gave up 53. Notre Dame the week before, which was surprisingly like they only held them to 36. But I mean, I know that Virginia Tech loss stung a little bit. Duke lost, they lost by 12. It's weird because it's like the way they started the season was like some hope, and then just kind of from there. I mean, they've won.
I'm gonna be real.
their
There was
last
never
four.
really.
I'm just trying to be nice. I'm trying to find just something. But yeah, I agree with you though, JT.
The North
as much
Carolina
as-
schools are not doing good.
Yeah. I mean, hey, at least Duke's meh. I mean, there's that, but I mean, yeah. But no, I agree with you though. I think Georgia Tech ends up winning this. However, they're just, I don't want to say they're not battle proven because winning on the road is impressive, and I think that Duke win was really good, but I need to see them against like a Miami, or you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
need to see them against like quality teams. I think the Georgia game will be really telling, because their next 3 games are cupcakes. I mean, they got NC State this week, at Boston College next week, and then Pitt right before the the Georgia game. So
Is
yeah,
it
but
at
I think
Pitt?
Georgia Tech wins. Yeah, it's at Pitt. Oh, no, it's in Atlanta. It's in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But I'm gonna go Georgia Tech. I think they take care of this one.
Sam, what about you?
Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of want them to lose. Just would help Texas Tech, not
Yeah.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, the
It would help
other Tech.
Tech in the rankings. Yeah, that's kind of the game I like to play is, rooting for every team ahead of Tech, except for I don't root for Texas. But it would, because like it would help Tech if Texas were to win. But who knows? The AP poll loves Texas. If they beat Vanderbilt, they might jump us. So
Let's see.
So,
is what it is.
Let's see. 6:30 slot. Oh, I'm going to Georgia Tech, but 6:30 slot. We got OU going into Knoxville, Tennessee, Neyland Stadium. OSU, of course, coming off a loss to Ole Miss and a really good matchup. And Tennessee with did they win last week? I don't remember what Tennessee. Were they on bye? For some reason, I don't remember them playing last week. Oh, they played Kentucky.
Horrible.
Yeah, they played Kentucky.
They were
They played Kentucky.
I thought they played somebody horrendous last week.
Yeah, they played Kentucky 56-34. So
the week before.
Again, OU going into Tennessee. What do y'all think about that?
Sam, I'll let you kick it off.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a good loss for either of these teams because they're in the SEC. Doesn't really matter. I mean, Oklahoma, I think, had 3 losses yet.
I think both are 3-2
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
2-2 in the SEC right now. The 2 losses.
Oh. OU is 2-2 and Volunteers are 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, one of these teams feasibly should be eliminated from the CFP this weekend, but you never know with the SEC. A 3-loss SEC team gets in over a 2-loss Big 12 or ACC school. So
I figure both of these.
It'll be interesting because I do think one of these teams will probably make the CFP somehow, just based on the fact that the SEC gets in so many teams. So it's gonna be a really big game. Both of these teams are fighting for a good chance to get into the CFP. I do think Mateer was rushed back. If he doesn't play in the Texas game, they lost. Like Oklahoma would, I think, be ranked higher because again, like what Tech did, they didn't play Behren Morton in the Arizona State game, and we'll look in 2 months or a month whenever they're doing the CFP rankings, and they'll be like, Tech didn't have their starting quarterback for that one loss.
Hey, CFP rankings start next week.
Yeah, so those are the things that really matter. But I don't know. Tennessee, the home environment, they almost beat Georgia, right? That was the Georgia game at home. So I don't think they lose twice there in a season, so I'll take Tennessee.
And it is a night game. It is a blackout. Tennessee did unveil their blackout jerseys.
Those were nice.
Yeah.
Marketing,
Those were nice, and the video was nice.
Oklahoma and Tennessee, for me, are 2 of the teams I question the most now. I was really big on Oklahoma at the beginning of the year. Obviously, Mateer getting injured didn't help matters. I don't know who to pick. Both these teams, in my opinion, they've proven to me that they can compete. They also haven't proven to me that they can win the big game, as shown in the past couple of weeks. I don't think either of these teams should make the CFP, to be honest with you. Like Sam said, one of them will. What?
I honestly don't think they will. I don't think either of these teams
You'd be
really
surprised, man. It's
happened
before.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I think there's still a little bit of there is SEC bias, but at the same time, I think if they see a better team in the Big 12, I think they will give them the slot.
No. They put Tennessee in last year with 3 losses, and look how well that turned out.
There will be one. There will be one Big 12 team, and it's the Big 12 champion. There won't be 2.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I don't know who to pick. I'm gonna go with Tennessee just because they're at home. It's Neyland at night. But both these teams really haven't proven anything to me. I mean, they've proven they can compete, but they just can't pull out big game. I really don't know what to think of either team at the moment. And here we are, week 10, and I still don't know what to think of either team. I don't think either of these teams are playoff teams. I don't even think either of these teams are top 20 teams, to be honest with you. But again, the SEC gets their treatment. But I think Tennessee wins this one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'm not going to ramble too much on it because, I mean, I think both have very overrated parts. Tennessee's defense and then OU's offense, just for the sheer name factor of John Mateer. I know his hand injury obviously really kind of definitely derailed his season by a ton. But I mean, even up until that point, outside of the game last year when he played against us, when he was at Wazoo, when he pretty much had his Heisman or his Manziel moment, nothing this season from him and this OU offense has really sold me, right? Like, they brought in all these. They brought in Jaden Ott, who was supposed to be their bell cow this year from Cal. I think he has less than 100 yards rushing on the season. They had Deion Burks returning, the Purdue transfer from last year. Coming off an injury, supposed to be a huge season for him. He's done well. No hate to him at all. But I just think, like, and this may be kind of a hot take, but Brent Venables is more of like a player-friendly Brian Kelly. He's going to disappoint when it matters the most, and he's shown that. I mean, taking digs at the Big 12 when we owned you the 2 years you were in it, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things where he's one of those gripey, whiny coaches, and I just don't like the guy. Also, I think Tennessee's offense under Aguilar has been really decent. It's been really good, and it's been consistent, and it's something that I think Tennessee's been looking more for. Biggest thing for them is how their defense looks. They lost a lot of guys from last year. James Pierce going to the NFL and a couple other cats. But yeah, I think being at Neyland at night, give me the balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to go along with that, Venables is more of a defensive mind than he is offensive. I think he's a good defensive coordinator. I don't think he's a good head coach.
Agreed. 100%
And then the big game, AJ, I'll let you announce it, but the biggest game probably for Tech this weekend.
Yes.
See you on.
AJ,
Yes.
you want to go?
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me a second to get back to the schedule, but I'm pretty sure I know it.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally
It's
a late night game.
Yeah.
It's the biggest late night game at least.
You ready? We got Cincinnati at Utah. Last game for us, for the Big 12 of the night. We got a former Pac-12 that night game, of course, at Utah. Cincinnati undefeated versus Utah, who has the 2 losses, 1 loss? I don't remember. 1 loss.
They got 2 losses.
No, 2. They lost to BYU. I forgot about the BYU loss, but that was close. Yeah. But a big game for Texas Tech, needing Cincinnati to fall here, and I think Utah is a team that could pull off the upset for us.
Yeah.
The only problem with me, Utah has a college game day curse. If you know what I'm talking about. They did unveil probably the coolest helmets I've ever seen today. So with that, I think, dude, I don't think Sorsby's as good as advertised. We played him last year. He didn't look that good. I will say Cincinnati does have good tight ends. That's the one thing that we last year Tech focused on was their tight end play. They have a very elite tight end, and I forgot his name, but he's very good. They got a good receiving core. They're fast, athletic, very under the radar team. Don't get me wrong, Cincy's a great team. They had no respect coming into the season. They're a very good team. I don't think Sorsby's as good as advertised, though. I think going into this environment, you saw how we struggled. I'm anxious to see, since he's not used to environments like this. And that showed last year coming into Tech. I know only beat them by a field goal, but they looked rattled at the start of the game. It's just our defense last year wasn't capable of stopping. But at the start of the game, when everyone was there in a blackout last year, I think we forced 2 false starts on the first drive.
When
This
we made
Utah
Travis Kelce wear
environment,
Raider
right,
red.
completely different. Cincinnati, being from the American, is not used to this. Probably the biggest game in Cincinnati's recent history, other than the playoffs. But I'm going Utah. I think Utah knocks them off. And I think since his Cinderella run comes to an end, I think they finished Big 12 play with 2 losses.
Might be more.
I think if Cincy loses
I
this
think
one,
this game derails them.
yeah, and I agree. I think Cincinnati needs this game to keep their conversation alive for the Big 12. If they end up losing this, then it'll knock them out of that Big 12 competition. or they're going to have to rely on a miracle somewhere.
For sure, Sam. What you think?
Yeah, I think Utah kind of dominates the whole game. In my eyes, they're the second most talented team in the Big 12 behind us. I think it's like a from start to finish, Utah all the way with having the game day atmosphere and the fact that it is a night game is gonna just be wild there.
No, for sure. I agree with all y'all. Another little tad bit to make sure also to include and why I think Cincy really is going to struggle in this game. Their leading rusher, Evan Pryor, the LSU transfer, he's out for this game. So that's a big chunk of their rush production out. Now, they do have Tawee Walker, the Wisconsin transfer, who's done pretty good this year. He had that one crazy hit stick against Iowa State where he dang near almost just killed a dude. But, yeah, I think they – you look at their schedule so far, and, their one big, crown jewel win is that Iowa State game. But looking at where Iowa State is right now, pretty much eliminated from the Big 12, championship contention. And then their only loss being to a Nebraska team that went on the road and got just curb walked by a Minnesota team that's god-awful. I'm still very, it's – I don't want to say it's like how I feel with Georgia Tech, but it's one of those things where it's like I haven't seen enough from, a competitive aspect yet to really say if they're legit. And I don't really think Cincinnati is. I don't like their head coach. Was it Scott Scatterfield or something, I think? He came over from Louisville. And I don't think Cincinnati's got that much depth. And also, too, the way and I asked myself this question a little bit earlier today. If we were to play Utah again, would we actually win? If it was in Salt Lake City again, take away as much of a heater as we caused Utah to be on outside of their loss to BYU, who's not a top 10 team currently. They're one of the hottest teams in college football right now. If you don't look at the 5-2 record, they're one of those teams that this is what people think Notre Dame is right now is what Utah is, in my opinion. If we're going to be brutally honest. So I think the Utes at night, if you don't believe in that magic that goes on in Utah at night, just ask Caleb Williams a few years ago whenever they were, trying to sail to an easy natty. So, I think the Utes, they bounced back in a huge way after a huge week last week. And, I think Big 12 is just going to get even more crazy with this game.
See. So, I think, and that's all the games for this week.
Pretty much it, yeah.
Real quickly, just looking at, we're getting to that point in the season. We'll look at the Big 12 conference. You got BYU leading the top with 5-0 record, Cincinnati 5-0 record, Texas Tech 4-1, Houston 4-1, and then of course Utah and Arizona both rocking 3-2s with K-State rocking 3-2. So, anything y'all want to touch up on the standings, the way it's looking, or anything you're hoping by the end of this week anything will change?
It's tough for Houston, man. They got a favorable schedule to finish the year, too.
Yeah.
They got West Virginia at home this week, and this is, this isn't the game they're honoring their strength coach. That's against TCU in a few weeks. But, they're at UCF after this, then they have TCU at home, and then they finish the year off at Baylor, which I imagine Dave Aranda is going to be fired by that point. So watch out for the Cougars to potentially have a chance at competing in this, you know what I mean? Thankfully, we beat them when we did. Because if we were to play them, in the next few weeks, I would actually be kind of concerned. They figured things out. Obviously the passing of the strength and conditioning coach, I think, is going to really light a fuse underneath that team as a whole, kind of unite them more. That's kind of my sleeper for this. Obviously Utah, but the thing is they literally cannot afford a single loss from here on out.
Yeah.
And I think they still play, if I remember correctly, they play at Kansas, at Baylor, they have K-State. They're winnable games, but, it's college football. They're bound to lose at least one, So, I think Houston's a team to watch for sure in the next few weeks.
DJ.
Sam, what's you?
Yeah.
Or anybody, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Sam.
I'll just be looking at the Cincinnati-Utah game. Really think is the only thing. I did see a tweet. It was pretty funny, and it was accurate. It was BYU's best chance to make the CFP is to lose to Tech next week. And it was basically like if they lose Tech and Tech wins out and then Houston wins out because they'd have to beat Cincinnati. So if Houston and Tech went out and then it was like Houston Tech in the Big 12 championship, how they would basically feel like they have to put in a one-loss BYU team. They only lost to Tech. That was pretty interesting. Like that might be their best way, but I don't know if they would put two Big 12 teams in.
You take away from a Houston team that makes the conference championship and lost in the conference championship. You take away from that. That's the only question. I saw that.
I don't think you do. Yeah, I don't think you do. But it'll be something that we see. Well, I don't know why AJ's getting all this.
No, Mason's on my Mason. Okay, we're in the chat. Mason screwing me over. By the way,
what happened?
We had somebody said OSU's gonna lose to Michigan again. I said they're not, and then Mason responds they are. Quick Cope, and I just see Mason's reaction on the screen. And Mason said quick Cope, and I was like, you suck.
But no, I mean, there's really only 4 teams left in contention unless something crazy happens. Any of these top 4 can make it. I think Cincinnati gets their first loss. And if that's the whole thing. What do you do with 4 one-loss conference teams in the end? Like, obviously, the tiebreakers work in the Tech's favor because we have to play 2 of the 3 that are in the top 4 with us. So,
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right, you know what? Sorry to change this. We're gonna start this bet now, and I will do whatever punishment y'all want. If OSU loses to Michigan, we are starting this. Get it wrote down on October 31st.
Hey, no.
you have to buy a Bryce Underwood jersey and wear it for 2 weeks.
I don't have that money.
Dude, China. Buy it from China, dude.
Let's see. I didn't see the one online that was like
you have to wear it for 2 weeks straight, and you can only take it off for showers.
What?
You said anything?
Yeah, I mean.
I was thinking like, have you seen those videos where they're like, all right, you have to learn the school fight song or whatever, or you can't leave until you learn school fight song, or
yeah, you gotta make a TikTok you singing Hail
24-hour Waffle House challenge. I don't care, but yeah.
Michigan's is easy to learn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't listen to it.
Bryce Underwood jersey. I'll move it down to a week. A week straight.
Yeah.
Wearing a Bryce Underwood jersey out in public. That includes if Tech plays at home. That includes to a Tech game.
What about like a Michigan hat? Like I'll wear a Michigan hat for a week.
Bryce Underwood jersey.
Or like a hoodie at least, if anything. Just something that's got Michigan big.
Bryce Underwood jersey. Bryce Underwood jersey. I'm telling you.
Take a plane trip to India, learn the native language, and then go to Japan and learn jiu-jitsu, and then come back and teach the class at Texas Tech University. I'm not doing that.
Dude. Yeah, that's good God.
I like that idea.
I could back that.
Okay, well, keep in mind I'm a broke college student. Hey, but I will. I'll give y'all. I'll give y'all a full.
You have to post on the Texas Tech Snapchat story saying that Michigan is the best team in the world and that they own Ohio State.
Oh, see, okay, now I could take you up on that one, like something like that.
No, you gotta do that on you gotta do it where your family can see it. I'm talking like Facebook or something.
Oh, I can
all your
send
relatives.
I can send it.
I mean, it's got to be like
you're now. It has to be Snapchat and Instagram.
We'll figure it out closer to like the game, right? Because we still got a few weeks, but we'll figure it out along the way.
I just can't wait for the Buckeyes to destroy them, and everybody can get off of me for that.
Y'all aren't beating Penn State. I don't know why you think you got to win this weekend.
We've said this the last 3 years, and look what's happened.
Yeah, you didn't even know me 3 years ago.
Don't get me wrong. Like, in that rivalry, I go for Ohio State 100% of the time. Again, I have family ties, but let's be real. Everyone's delusional.
Put AJ in Michigan jersey with no draws on and free speech area for as many hours as the points you lose by.
Oh my God.
These fans, they know what's up. They know what's up.
Okay, whatever. All right. Hey, I'll give you all the week. Next week,
Do I
y'all
wear a
give me
Georgia Tech?
something.
Do I wear a Georgia Tech shirt to the game at NC State?
Yes.
Yes.
100%. Yes.
That'd be fun.
I don't know where. How would you get it in time though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like,
My mom has a sweater. It's gonna be really small, but she has a Georgia Tech like sweatshirt.
Hey, that works.
right? If it,
Hey, we need a photo of it. Put it on. We'll put it on the next podcast.
Dude, I'd get kicked out, bro. I can't. I need to find. I might have to. It's too soon. Like I can't just get a Georgia Tech shirt that fast. But like, I will be cheering for Georgia Tech though.
It's fine. I've been thinking about getting me a Vandy sweatshirt or something and wearing it. We'll see.
You know what I could do? I could wear the white and gold Mavs jersey.
Oh yeah.
yeah, those, yeah.
Better than
I'd
that
look.
suck.
Let's see.
Yep. All right. Yeah.
All right. Anything y'all want to touch up on before we get out of here? Anything?
I think we covered. Yeah.
Oh, I think we need to address the potential for next weekend if we beat Kansas State.
I think the main concern is beating K-State first, and I think that's also something we can touch up
No,
on.
I agree with you. But
Yeah.
if we beat Kansas State, there is a legitimate chance that the College Game Day crew comes to Lubbock. You know what's interesting? I think this will be the same week that we played Texas in 08.
Is it?
No, wait. Because I
think
feel like
it
that
is.
game
I
was
thought we had
early.
one more game after Texas.
No, it was in November. Hold on.
It was November 1st. No, so it'd be
So it would've been this
17
weekend.
years from 17 years from Saturday.
Hey, it's close enough. I mean,
Damn.
but no, it's going to be rowdy. It's going to be like the Colorado game last year.
We
Yeah.
better.
For sure.
But
Just
see,
hoping
what I
it's
would
a
want-
different
I would
outcome.
want in Mahomes galvanized jerseys.
At least these don't suck. That's the biggest thing.
I just
These
got.
aren't.
Yeah,
They
but
also-
see, I know.
They
I know
just said.
when they would come here. They're gonna get a double. They're gonna get a double guest picker in Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Jesus
if they,
Christ. Can't wait for
They
Taylor
named it,
Swift
I'd be-
being a suite. So,
Let's see. Caden
Kelsey ain't coming.
just said in the chat that I should post on my story and say I'm sorry for bandwagoning, but I'm a true Michigan fan all my life.
you are.
That's not harsh enough though.
yeah, it's got to be.
It would be
It's gotta be
5
like
years in a
John
row.
Lynch.
That's harsh enough. But
You have to go into the Texas Tech free speech area, and
Yeah, be on tea time,
yell
man. Yeah.
out-
I
Tea
think-
time.
you have to
dude.
yell out that you have to
Yeah.
yell out for 3 hours that you're a furry.
Ooh.
what? Jeez.
Good idea.
Okay, I mean, it was something to consider. We'll you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
just kidding.
everybody get your bets in.
Yeah.
Put it on the TikTok or
respect
whatever.
the furries out
Like
there.
we'll make our
You can do what you
TikToks
want.
for this. Whatever comment we get, that we can actually do and doesn't end up having me going to India or whatever the comment said earlier. Anything
end
I
up
can
with yours
do, I'll
going in.
I'll own up to it. If
Hey,
OSU loses to
that's
Michigan,
what
I will do
They're
the punishment.
watching.
What I said about the furries, nothing bad about the furries. If that's what you want to be, that's what you want to be. Respect.
All right, boys. That was a great episode.
Yeah. All right, before
I'm
we
glad-
start talking about furries,
Hey.
let's call it here.
I don't want to get canceled.
Dude, you're
Yeah,
All right,
Five people that watch this.
let's see. But appreciate
You never
everybody
know.
showing up.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all showing up. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate JT, Mason, and
Yeah.
Sam all joining me this week on this
Appreciate you.
podcast. I know we did it early. I know it's now technically Thursday, but we did it early because of Halloween on Friday. We all are kind of going to be busy, so we wanted to get this preview done before Halloween weekend starts. So hopefully Texas Tech can break that streak for the first time
Hopefully.
since 2008. So appreciate y'all coming in and see y'all next week.